Welcome back to our series. Having explored the individual couplets of Chapter 10, we now enter Proverbs Chapter 11, a manual for marketplace integrity and community wisdom. This chapter reveals how the skill for living manifests in our business deals, our social reputation, and our generosity toward others. The Lord detests dishonest scales, but accurate weights are his delight. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 1. Honesty in business is a recurring theme in biblical wisdom. Tampering with scales, falsifying weights or measures, was an ancient method of cheating that the sages labeled an abomination because it rejects God's created order of fairness. In the biblical era, this concerned physical weights at the city gate. Today we see this in the ethics of digital transactions, hidden fees, and transparency in corporate algorithms. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 1 reminds us that pragmatic honesty is a spiritual act that brings God delight. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 2. Pride is presented as a reality rejection that leads to inevitable ruin. Wisdom is not even allowed to begin without the right posture of humility, which allows a person to be corrected and guided. We live in an era where aggressive self-promotion is often praised as a virtue. Proverbs warns that an inflated ego is the least likely state for gaining true insight, as the humble person is more teachable, preventing the disgrace of a public moral failure. The integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 3. Integrity is not just a rule, it is a navigational tool, an internal compass. Duplicity, or double-mindedness, eventually creates a complexity that leads to a person's own destruction through the act-consequence connection. Today, many follow a personal brand or public image rather than a core character. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 3 argues that a life built on a straight path of honesty is the only one that can survive modern social and professional pressures without being uprooted. Whoever derides their neighbor has no sense, but the one who has understanding holds their tongue. A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret. For lack of guidance a nation falls, but many advisors make victory sure. Proverbs chapter 11 verses 12 to 14. Wisdom is deeply relational. It requires the skill of holding the tongue and the humility to seek counsel. A multitude of counselors provides the social safety needed for shared life and national stability. In an age of digital leaks and oversharing, the trustworthy spirit who can keep a secret is rare. While we often rely on independent research or gut feelings, Proverbs chapter 11 verse 14 urges us back to communal wisdom, reminding us that we don't grow wise in isolation. One person gives freely, yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly, but comes to poverty. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. The people curse those who hold back grain, but a blessing is on the head of those who sell it. Proverbs chapter 11, verses 24 to 26. Wisdom defies the scarcity mindset. This paradox of giving teaches that those who are generous to others are themselves refreshed by the Lord, illustrating the beneficent rewards of righteousness. Modern consumerism tells us to accumulate for security. Proverbs chapter 11 offers a counter-cultural path, generosity as a fountain of life. It challenges the, quote, hustle for oneself, suggesting that true prosperity is found in how we serve and refresh the community around us. Those who trust in their riches will fall, but the righteous will thrive like a green leaf. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and the one who is wise saves lives. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 28 and verse 30. This section returns to the tree of life imagery. Riches are a passing vapor, but righteousness provides the staying power of a living, growing plant. The wise person doesn't just gain facts, they save lives through their influence. We often mistake net worth for well-being. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 28 reminds us that wealth is a fragile city. Wisdom invites us to be rooted in character, producing a fruit that not only nourishes ourselves but also saves and refreshes the lives of those around us. Proverbs chapter 11 tells us that skill for living manifests in the everyday, on the scales of our trade and the lips of our gossip. Every act of honesty and every moment of generosity is a seed planted in the tree of life. Which path will you walk today? Join us next time as we explore the loving discipline of Chapter 12.